All right, so let's get on to our next award prediction, and that is the Executive of the Year. This is gonna be an easy one. We're probably all gonna agree on this one.
Yeah.
Just for
Oh, you guys know.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go
well,
ahead.
I was gonna be contrarian, and I was gonna say the Lakers, but I don't want to get roasted to shreds yet. So I'll take the easy way out, and I'll say Jerry West. I mean, I'm also gonna take it back to this because I feel like you guys have a lot to say. So honestly, Jerry West, take it away, guys.
Yeah, you go.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this. I like
We're all
this.
deferring. We're like OKC,
Yeah.
Paul George and Russell Westbrook had to defer to each other. This is an easy one. It's Jerry West from the Los Angeles Clippers. When you're a team that literally took Golden State with Kevin Durant fully loaded, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, the 6 games with Pat Beverly and Lou Williams as your best player, and then you add Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, which Paul George was third in MVP voting. Kawhi Leonard was the Finals MVP. So you're adding 2 top-tier All-Stars to that Los Angeles Clippers team, which that depth that they have there almost took Golden State to 7 games with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. That has to be the Executive of the Year, acquiring Kawhi Leonard. Look, in free agency, when he was first trying to acquire Kawhi Leonard told him this. He said, I want to come here. This is my hometown. I'm not coming by myself.
Yeah.
You need to go and you need to acquire another All-Star for me. It could be Paul George. And what did he do? He called up OKC. He said, give me Paul George. Down Paul George. Kawhi Leonard goes there.
It happened.
The Clippers are the second team in Los Angeles. This is,
As of now.
Clippers.
Yeah.
But they've always been like the second team. And for Jerry West to pull that maneuver off, he's like a magician for doing that.
Yeah.
And he traded away Tobias Harris, got some draft picks in the process in the beginning. Because even with Tobias Harris, they last season they overachieved. They traded their star player Tobias Harris, and then they were supposed to make it out of the playoffs, maybe get a good lottery pick, and they still performed well because this is the culture he set there. That they're a defensive team, they play for each other, and then you add 2 other guys who are both excellent two-way players in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who fit perfectly into that culture there. The Los Angeles Clippers had head coach Doc Rivers. They're gonna make a run. And Jerry West is definitely someone to credit for their success this upcoming season.
One problem I just have real quick, right off the bat. You're picking a playoff team or Jerry West actually already had a playoff team and is just making them a better playoff team, right?
Okay.
Picture this.
He's transforming them.
Picture this. 6 years ago, 2013, 2014, we're all listening to Rebecca Black's Friday.
Good time.
And I think probably was before then, but regardless, Billy King trades 6 first-round picks for an aging Paul Pierce, an even older Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry. All right, so we imagine the nail is in the coffin for the Nets at this point, right?
Yeah.
Somehow, someway, our Messiah, Sean Marks, arises from the horizon. Look, he has deserved this award for years. The fact that they weren't the worst team in the league for years is ridiculous. Remember years ago, we were laughed at that. You would watch games and you wouldn't know who was on the team. Look, Kyrie, DeAndre Jordan, KD. Obviously, KD's not playing this year. Regardless, it's fine. Jarrett Allen, ridiculously good. Spencer Dinwiddie, ridiculously good. Not to mention that he had D'Lo, traded the 30th overall pick for D'Lo.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's doing, and he's deserved it. He's literally transformed this team from a bottom dweller, from someone who you didn't think they were going to make the playoffs for years to come. He's done this without first round picks. Mind you. I just think that's ridiculous. I think he's deserved it, and I think he's an easy pick for executive.
I can't hate that pick at all because they had nothing. I think the Nets were almost Hornets level of in terms of situation how bad they were. They might have been even worse. They had no picks. They literally mortgaged out their tanking to the Celtics. Absolutely terrible. But I do think there's something to be said for what Jerry West has been able to do with the Clippers. Not taking away anything from the Nets, but I do want to say that the Clippers are the little brother to the Lakers, and to score the Finals MVP and top 3 MVP shares with Paul George and steal them away from the Lakers, and not just the Lakers, but anyone else in the NBA. I mean, they stole Paul George from the Thunder too. the fact that you can make that happen is amazing.
Yeah, that's
and
huge.
you know, the Clippers, they're like they're the uncool team. You know, you're not cool if you like the Clippers, and they're rebranded. And I mean, you know, this is not even a basketball standpoint, but the fact that they were able to like make it happen. You know, as Sam said, Kawhi came up to him and was like, "Listen, if you can make it happen, then I'll come." You know, and then he talked and he gave up a lot of picks, but he made it happen. He knew what he had to do to, you know, in order to like, make his team playoff contender to that next level, and they did it. And I mean, I think it's one thing to go from, you know, a bad team to a playoff team, ridiculously hard. But going from a playoff team to an absolute title contender, I think that gap might be even larger.
I mean, look, it's close, but I would say next year when KD's back, they'll be a title contender.
I can see that.
For sure. I think they'll be a title contender. I mean, I think that right now, they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah,
they'll be
they'll make the playoffs.
4th or 5th seed. But, I mean, that's, yeah, I guess Jerry West, great pick, by the way. I mean,
Right.
yeah, he is, I think he's going to be up there for sure. He'll probably win it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think that them taking them away from the Lakers, that's huge.
That's huge.
That can't be understated for sure.
You know, I know you want to say something, Sam, but just real quick, again, I love the Sean Marks pick because he was given probably the worst situation possible,
for
and he
sure.
turned all of that around.
Kenny Atkinson is a great hire, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, like, I don't know if you're thinking I'm going to roast you. I'm not. It's not why I'm doing this. I can't take it away. I think Sean Marks is definitely up there for Sixth of the Year. I'm just pretty emotional right now because I'm thinking about how Brooklyn stole New York City away from the Knicks. They stole my beloved Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They were supposed to be Knicks players, you know,
Yeah, but-
Knicks superstars, and he stole them away. He snatched them, and in the process, he snatched my heart. He
Yeah.
took my heart away, and you know, no, I don't want to tell you what took my heart away.
Wow.
He stole my heart away. Tim Hardaway's gone. I'm not talking about Tim Hardaway, but he stole my heart, and I'm just very upset with that. Sean Marks, of course, you know,
Easily.
awesome hire with Kenny Atkinson because
Yes,
he was
for
able to
sure.
develop the players he had there without any draft picks. Obviously, you know, Joe Harris, the three-point marksman he is,
Yeah.
winning that three-point
Right.
contest. You have Spencer Dinwiddie, who came out of nowhere. Jared Allen, and this team literally epitomized Brooklyn. Like it literally epitomizes Brooklyn.
does, that great
and for them to,
Harris.
you know, take Kyrie Irving and to snatch Kevin Durant away from New York City, it's
Brooklyn way.
upsetting.
Kirkland.
I just want to say one more thing about the Clippers, however, that one of you guys were saying, oh yeah, because you know they acquired Kawhi Leonard Paul George, cool. That's not all he did.
That's true.
When he was hired, they had Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. That team, they were a good team, but they were not title contenders because of
Yeah.
injuries that were going on,
Yeah.
that were transpiring. So he trades, instead of Chris Paul just leaving, bolting, he trades him to Houston to get depth back. That's how he got Pat Beverly in the first place. That's how he got Montrezl Harrell in the first place. And then Blake Griffin, trading him to Detroit for Tobias Harris, which later transferred to more draft picks. So it's not just the big move that I'm looking at. It's that all the little things that he did behind the scenes, all those moves that seemed that were, you know, very subtle, very small, including even getting Ivan Zubac from the Lakers. Yeah, you know,
For
I
free,
says Zubac,
yeah.
basically
Yeah.
free. I mean, he was celebrating with Doc Rivers. They were laughing over it.
It should be.
So it's all these small players that they're snatching away. No one's really talking, you know, not a lot of attention. And then once he goes, he strikes big. He strikes gold. And that's the big move with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So what I'm saying is, while obviously Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is what he's going to be remembered for ultimately, it was also those small set of moves that he did to position himself for success in acquiring Kawhi Leonard, which was the Finals MVP, and Paul George, who was certain MVP voting.
And I just want to say one thing. I think something that's great that I think is very underappreciated. Trading away Tobias Harris. Now, yeah, we traded him for draft picks, but what else did they trade him for? Shaman was an amazing player, but also like you know, there's a concept in fantasy called you know selling high and buying low, and he sold high on Tobias Harris because he knew that he would have to offer him a max for him to stay, and they did not want to you know they had 2 max slots open once they traded him away, and they knew that they didn't want to use a max on Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a great player, but to win a title, you don't want your max level players to be Tobias Harris. You want them to be Kawhi. You want them to be LeBron. You want them to be Curry. You want them to be PG, you know? Because the way that the NBA is set up is that you have a specific amount, and a max is a max, you know? I mean, the super max is going to get complicated with that. But if your max level players, Damian versus Tobias, they're still taking up the same amount of salary space. So I thought that was a huge kind of thing.
I think that's something goes way under the radar is Chris Paul was going to sign with the Rockets regardless. But
Yeah.
Jerry West convince Daryl Morey to give him something so that Chris Paul couldn't talk to
Right.
anyone else.
Yeah.
And they just threw in, I think it was Sam Decker, Montrezl Harrell, Pat Bev, and like a pick.
I have no idea how they won.
I don't know. Yeah, that's looking back at it. The Clippers might have won that trade.
Yeah.
I think they might have. Yeah.
I mean, the Rockets, I don't like the championship or bust mentality,
Yeah.
but they didn't get a championship.
Sorry, was Lou Williams traded in that also? Or he was before.
No, Lou Williams was before that.
Okay, so my bad. I
Yeah,
said Lou
Montrezl
Williams
Harrell,
trade there,
yeah.
but they were able to get Lou Williams in general. So that's
Well,
itself
yeah.
a
I mean,
success.
they still got Pat Bev and Montrezl Harrell on that.
Oh,
team.
yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. I mean, yeah, now the Philadelphia 76ers have Tobias Harris, the largest, the
Yeah.
richest, contract in sports, in 76ers history.
Yeah.
And Tobias Harris is not even their top 2 best player.
Yes, that's
I'm not
exactly-
saying but let's not go there now.
Yeah.
Executive of the years overall, we got Jerry West,
Mhm.
and you got Sean Marks.
But no,
All great picks.
Yeah, no,
You can't go
no
wrong
hatred
with that.
there.
You can't go
Honestly,
wrong with
I like the pick.